Every family in Canada has a story of arrival, whether recent or generations ago. Through this series, we're sharing the diverse paths that brought our team here and the common threads that connect us all.
My name is Jacqueline. I am the Youth Program Facilitator here at Reception House. And I've worked here for a little over a year now. Before this, I worked a lot in climate justice and climate education. So that's kind of where my roots are. But actually, the refugee crisis is very closely linked to the climate crisis. So that's how I made my way into refugee work. So on my dad's side, his grandparents moved to Canada from Scotland. And he told me the story about his grandfather, James Maxwell, who is from Dumfries in Scotland, I believe. And he moved here after the First World War. And he moved with Alice Potter, who was from Edinburgh. So that's my great grandmother. And they moved here to Toronto first. And he became an X-ray technician in Toronto before they moved out to Kapuskasing, and he became the mayor of the town in Kapuskasing. So that's the story I know on my dad's side. On my mom's side, we don't really know at all. I tried to ask her. She said that her siblings have tried to look into the story, but we just know that they've been settled in Canada for a long, long time. And it's very likely that their family moved after the Battle of Culloden, which was back in like the 1700s when the clan system in Scotland was demolished. And all the Scottish lower class left Scotland because they were kicked off their land. The Scottish lords wanted the land to farm sheep. So anyone who was poor had to just leave the country. So that's probably how my mom's side of the family ended up in Canada. But other than that, we really don't know much about that side. So we've just been here for many, many generations. For me, home is a place that you feel yourself and you feel at peace. And for me, Canada feels like home because it's the only home I've ever lived in. And I feel very lucky that I was born here, I was raised here, and I've never had any sort of conflict that made me have to leave the place that I call home and the place that I feel the most comfortable and at peace. I think it's really exciting, and I think it's a really important development for Reception House. I think that it's very needed right now, especially with the housing crisis that we're facing across Canada, but especially in Ontario, especially in Waterloo. Housing is expensive, and this new project is going to be a space for people who are vulnerable, people who can't afford to rent right now, a space where they can stay. And so for Reception House, yeah, it's incredibly important. And I mean, I was telling Yasmin earlier about our clients that we had at the hotel last month. We had a grandmother and her 2 teenage grandchildren, and I was just thinking about them. They just moved out last week, but I'm not too sure how they're going to support themselves because the grandmother can't work anymore. The granddaughter's 20, so she's gonna have to find a job. And I was just thinking of the hardship for that family. So a space like this new build that we're working on is going to be exactly for families like that who need the extra support. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I feel like incredibly inspired by newcomers, and I just think about how brave you have to be to come to a new country where you don't know the language, you don't know anybody here, and you have to basically start over. And I'm just often inspired by their strength and inspired by their resilience to do that. And I can't relate because I've never had to go through that in my life. It gives me hope to see, like I was saying, like to see all the people in our community who are there to help. And so even though we live in like a very divided world right now, and it feels like there's a lot of anger and hate, I also see every single day people who are trying to help and trying to cross cultures and create community. So I think that keeps me very